guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Neha and I make videos related to books, and today I'm talking about all the books that I read in June 2024. Yeah, welcome to my June wrap up. If you have seen the title already, this is just a video that I do every single month. At least I try to do it every single month. There are a couple of months where I've just clubbed 2 months at once, but today I am talking about a singular month, which is June 2024. I have managed to read a total of 5 books, and surprisingly a majority of these books I've read in ebook form, which is very different from my usual style. I've also read more romance slash cozy books as compared to like more litfic and historical fiction book, which is also different for me because I was just not in a very reading kind of a mode where I could like hole up with heavy books or thought-provoking books. I stuck to light reads, and you'll see that as I talk about each of the books. So I think that's enough of a prattle. Let me show you all the books that I've managed to finish in this particular month. First book that I finished was The Women by Kristin Hannah. This is a 2024 release and it is a historical fiction. It is set in Vietnam. We follow Frankie McGrath, who comes from a very sheltered life from South California, and she follows her brother's footsteps to go to Vietnam during the war as a war nurse. Over there she sees a lot of loss, a lot of trauma, a lot of gamble between life and death, and she returns pretty much with a lot of trauma. But when she gets back here, she realizes she's coming back to a country which is really not appreciative of the efforts that we would really not appreciative of the war efforts, the protests going on, and also that really don't feel like women have contributed a lot to the war effort. So she comes back and she is devastated to find this out, and the gist of the story is basically about how she deals with that and her trauma and how it impacts her relationships and her life as well. I picked this up because I really like the concept, I really like the plot. Like, often we always forget the role that women play in war efforts, especially as nurses, especially as field agents, even though they're not directly on the field, they do have a very, very important role to play. So I really like the plot, I really like the concept of it, and Kristin Hannah typically writes books like these. However, I felt like this book was very underdone. I felt like the author didn't spend enough time in laying out the plot properly. Like, we could only follow Frankie's path. However, her friendships with 2 other nurses and how it progresses, I was so interested to find out more about her friends, but unfortunately we don't really get to see that. We only get to see those friends when their lives intersect with Frankie's lives. And also, it just felt like this book was written and then an editor kind of forced the author to cut a lot of scenes. So you're jumping from scene to scene in a very random manner, in a very chaotic manner. We are not told a lot of the back history. It felt like pivotal moments of the plot were just sketched out, and there's no leading from point A to point B. It's just directly jumping from point A to point B, I hope you're getting what I mean. So because of that, I felt like this book had so much potential, but unfortunately it didn't live up to that expectation. So I only gave it 3 stars out of 5. The next book that I finished, I also have a reading vlog to it. This is Until August by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is the lost novel. It was put out again in 2024, but it was written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez towards the end of his life. I've talked about this book in detail, but I'll try to summarize it to the extent of this wrap-up. But if you are interested in my entire thoughts, do check out that vlog. But we meet Anna, who is a woman in her middle age, and she's married, she has children, she's happily married, it seems like. But every year, on one day of her mother's death anniversary, she goes to the island where she's buried, which is very remote. It's only like a tourist island, but it's still very remote. And over there, one year she takes one lover, and that kind of establishes a pattern where every year she goes back and she takes one lover just for that night. So this is a book about regret, about self-exploration, about transformation, about love at the essence of it. But I just felt like the ending particularly, it was not as well developed as I hoped it would be. I've read 2 books of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and both of them I feel like they're so beautifully detailed and so mesmerizing with his language that you, even though the plot has a lot of metaphors, has a lot of twists and turns, you don't feel like you're lost at any point. This, however, I couldn't follow the train of thought of the author as easily as I could have in the other two books that I've read. Actually, the ending I could have done with a little more description, a little more detail. I don't like vague endings. Like, before I could understand what was going on, the book ended, So yeah, that those are my thoughts about my succinct thoughts about this book. For full details, do check out that video. But I think I would give this book another 3 stars out of 5. So yeah. Then another book that I finished is When Life Gives You Lululemons by Lauren Wiesberger. This again is a 2024 release. Is it? No, my bad. But this is book 3 in the Devil Wears Prada series. I don't think a lot of people know that it is actually an entire series, but I have read the 2 books before this. In this particular book, we follow Emily Charlton, who is the assistant of Miranda Priestly in book 1. So basically, Emily Blunt's character in the movie. So Emily Charlton is now like a image consultant. She lives in LA, and she gets pulled into this case in the suburbs in Greenwich, where this ex-model who's now married to a politician, she's facing like DUI charges, and there are a lot of things going wrong, it feels like, in her life. And Emily gets on board to try and help her with her image, because there is a matter of custody about of a young child for this mother. So that's why Emily comes on board for restoring her image and things like that. This was the start of my tough reading phase, where I just could not envision myself reading any of the books on my bookshelf. So I just picked this book up randomly, and I finished it, I think, in a couple of days. I really enjoy fluffy books like this, where there's like a lot of description about how the suburb life is, about brand name dropping, about people name dropping. I did enjoy it. It was a look into suburbs in America in a way which is very different from how other books felt like. Like, this was very like Desperate Housewives sort of a thing. There's all this like name calling, there are all these scandals, there's all these things happening, and then like these yummy mummies go to school, and they're so like invested in bringing their children up in a model way, but then behind the scenes there's so many things which keep happening in these families. I really enjoyed this book, actually, for what it was worth. I think I finished this, again, like I said, in a night, and I just had a blast. And when I'm in such a mood, these books are my best remedy to get back into a reading mode. So yeah, a light, fun, frothy read, but also there were many deep moments, especially when it comes to the friendship of Emily, of the ex-model Carolina, and another characters. Like, the three, like, there's a girl gang which forms, and there are many sweet moments between these three, but there are many like those girlfriends that you can just like be brutal to. They're also that kind of a relationship. So I did enjoy my time with it. I think I would rate this like 4 stars out of 5. I can't believe that this is the highest rated book for me so far. Then another book I finished, I also have a vlog about this, is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I took this on vacation, not a vacation, a staycation to Panchgani. I have an entire vlog, like I said. I'll link that up above to do check it out. But essentially, this is a book where Viv is an orc, and she's like an hired assassin, and she gets tired of the life, she gets tired of the gore, and she decides to open a coffee shop in this small town which has never heard of coffee ever before. So together with a partner, her name is Tandri, and a cook whose name is Thimble, they set out to introduce coffee and coffee shops to this town, and how they establish a presence there, how the community accepts them, how there are some bad forces at work, and how there are some good forces at work. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. This book was so highly acclaimed. I think it released last year if I'm not wrong, and every single top books of 2023 video that I've seen, pretty much every single one of them had put this book on their list, because they just had such a ball of a time, and I was so looking forward to this book. And I feel like when I go to vacations, I love reading these kind of books, and it did not disappoint. It is so cozy, it is so sweet, it has the power of friendship through and through. It has coffee and bakes and how the process of how they set up this coffee shop and evolve the menu. I absolutely loved it. It says high fantasy, low stakes, good company on this book, and I fully agree. It was just a blast. Like, I had so much fun reading this book. I would highly recommend. Like, everybody who was saying that this is one of the best books of last year, I am with you. I was so scared that this would be one of like those overhyped books for me, for my reading taste, but it was not. So I'm so happy to have fallen in love with this book. I already bought book 2, which is actually like a prequel. It's called Bookshops in Bone Dust, which I'm also very excited to read. But overall, love this book. I would rate it 5 stars out of 5 easily without a second thought. So do check it out, and do check out my vlog. The next book that I finished was The Ministry of Time by Kayleen Bradley. This is a sci-fi rom-com kind of a book. So it is set in a time when time travel is possible, and the UK government decides to expat certain people across different timelines over to the present time and do this experiment to see how they integrate into the society and how their body adjusts to time travel. So working with these expats are Bridges, who are basically like their buddies essentially, where they introduce them to the things of modern world, about history, about context, about the ways, about the societal customs that we are in. So we meet Graham Gore, who is like this expedition explorer from the 18th century, and who goes missing during the what expedition is this? I'm sorry, wait, I'll tell you. This is a real life expedition. John Franklin's doomed 1845 expedition to the Arctic. So it's a real expedition, but Graham Gore is a fictional character based on a real person. So he is expatriated to the current time, and his Bridge is someone who is like this biracial Cambodian British woman, and how they cohabitate together and how they develop a working relationship or even further together is kind of the essence of the book, and how Graham kind of adjusts to present life and to present customs is also like the essence of the book. And of course, there's something sinister going on. I just found the concept of this so intriguing. Like, just like imagine like time travel in sci-fi is so like, it's such an evolving topic. There's so many perspectives of it across, and I'm not a sci-fi reader, I'm not a time travel reader as much, but I just, at the base of it, I really adored this concept. Like, you know, getting people here, they'll be so lost in the current times, they'll be so explaining to them the context of world wars, about the Holocaust, about the end of empire, of British Empire. I found the premise so interesting, and it delivered actually. I was really enjoying my way throughout the book, and also the chemistry between the Bridge, I've forgotten her name and it's not written in the synopsis anywhere, I've forgotten the name, the Bridge and Graham, lovely. I mean, so cute, so adorable, so like, you know, old school in a way, because Graham is an old school character at the end of the day. I genuinely loved, and I really loved the secondary characters as well, you know, like the other expats, the other Bridges, and yeah, overall I really had a blast with this book. I started reading it again during that staycation, and it continued because yeah, this one was not as easy of a read, I would say, as Legends and Lattes, but I did have, because there are some obscure concepts, and especially like a science noob, for me it like went over my head, so it took me time to digest what's happening, understand what's happening, and then finish reading. But overall I really enjoyed my time with this book. I think I would give this book 4 stars out of 5, and definitely do check it out if you're into this genre, and also if you like this fun quirky twist of a romance as well, set in this particular setting. So yeah, that's it, that's the video. Those are all the books that I finished in June 2024. Coming to my favorite book, there's no second thought, it is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Absolutely love this book. I have a feeling that it's a very strong contender for the favorite. I have a feeling it's a very strong contender for my favorite book of the year as well, but that remains to be seen. But yeah, it's been a good month of reading. I'm slowly getting back to the bandwagon, and I'll catch you with more reading updates in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.